Anthony Allen and Kenneth Taylor are the leaders of E-Universe Transportation Showroom LLC. And we've had Anthony on with us before, and he's back with Kenneth, who's behind the sales part of the company. How are you both today?
Doing great. How about yourself?
Excellent, thank you. So, for those who maybe didn't hear us last time, Anthony, can you just remind us of what E-Universe Transportation Showroom is all about?
E-Universe Transportation Showroom is a service that would be marketed to bicycle manufacturers, actually EV vehicle manufacturers, and that would include anything from an e-bike to, let's say, a bus.
Yes.
Anything that's electric nowadays is what the showroom is targeted for.
What's the kind of reception been like so far, I suppose, since we last talked, and overall? Is this something that a lot of people have been interested in?
We've had a lot of feedback on speaking to various people concerning this. So we're moving right along.
Now, Kenneth, you're kind of in charge of sales, and you play a crucial role in connecting E-Universe's offerings with consumers and businesses. So what is it that excites you most about the range of electric vehicles and products that you're representing?
Well, I'm really, when I look at what's going on in the world today, you have the gas prices and everything just seems to be going in that direction.
Yeah.
And I'm excited that we're going to be a resource for EV manufacturers to market their product because, to a large degree, a lot of people are ignorant when it comes to EV products. And the reason I'm excited about it is I feel like we're going to be in the best position to educate the public on EV products to market their products through our venue. So that's really what I'm excited about.
The thing is, as you mentioned, it's all heading in that electric direction, isn't it? By 20 years' time, they say that all new cars will be electric. So it's something that we've all sort of got to get on board with, isn't it?
Well, it's going that way where we want to go that way. So our position is we want to help manufacturers, help them educate the public because there's a lot of hesitancy for some, and we want to make that transition easier for people. And the more they learn about e-products, the more they learn about the technology that's still evolving, the more comfortable people are going to become with EV products. And as far as I can see, this is a win-win for manufacturers.
And there is a lot of hesitancy out there, isn't there? Because we've been using petrol, diesel, whatever cars for so long, people find it odd to switch to electric. So what would you say to those who are maybe a little bit hesitant about it?
For approximately 100 years, we've been doing this gas thing, know, and change is difficult for some people. It's hard for some people to wrap their minds around an all-electric vehicle. When I think about the technology in terms of batteries, and people are concerned about making half of a road trip and running out of energy and things of that. But as we begin to educate the public on the new advances in terms of batteries, and it's getting better and better all the time. You mentioned 20 years, but I think 5 years down the road, the technology is going to be a lot further along than it is today.
Yeah.
And so we're kind of getting in front of that and making it clear to all manufacturers that this is the way to go in educating the public. And this will in turn help them to better market their products and ultimately increase their revenues.
And at the moment, I think electric cars are a little bit more expensive because they're rarer. So economically right now, in this country anyway, UK, maybe a lot of people are thinking in terms of the price, maybe they don't want to go electric. So do you think at some point it's going to change and it will be more economical to go for the electric option?
Well, as you can see in the last 3 years, energy prices have really risen significantly. So when you talk about the expense of versus the expense of fueling your vehicle, there's a balance there. And just like with anything else, when a new technology comes out, it tends to be expensive in the beginning. And as there are more competitors, the price tends to come down. the more there's competition, the more prices begin to subside. So it's the same way with this. Yes, it's more expensive now, but I see down the road as more people get on board with this and there are more competitors, the prices will begin to subside. And then all of a sudden, it'll make more sense economically to switch to an EV product.
Now, Anthony, you've witnessed the evolution of the transport industry over the years. So what would you say are the most significant changes? And maybe is this switch to electric the biggest change so far, perhaps?
The biggest changes I've seen, that technology is moving at the pace that it's moving, and particularly battery technology. They're announcing just about daily new products with new storage solutions that increases the range as well as the storage of the battery, the power. I think 2 days ago, they had mentioned about a solid state battery, as well as the salt sodium battery. And they're both competing. These are the newest technologies that are out there that are being announced, which is going to increase the range. It's going to lower the cost of the vehicle. It's going to lower the weight of the battery. And it's going to be a game changer. I know there's one particular car manufacturer I won't mention who just announced a 900-mile range for that battery, and it charges in, I think it's 5 to 8 minutes. So wow. Those are the changes that are happening just about on a daily basis. And you had to search for it at times, but it's being announced, here and there.
Yeah, that's quite incredible. 900 miles on one battery, because when you're driving in a normal petrol car, how many times have you got to go to the petrol station for a 900-mile journey?
Exactly.
Probably about 3 times, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, and look at the expense. You pointed out about how expensive the cars are, but look at especially with the high gas prices.
Yeah.
Look at the expense that's going to be associated with that.
Because we've come to realize over the last couple years during the energy crisis that we're relying on oil and gas and fossil fuels a little bit too much. And it's made us really realise that we need to accelerate, if you'll pardon the pun, towards the electric vehicles.
Oh, I would. I
think we need to.
You can go ahead, Anthony.
I was going to say yes. I think in the process, doing this process, this transition, when we do wean ourselves off of fossil fuels, to give the earth a chance to heal itself from all that we've taken away, because it will replenish as time goes on, the less we rely upon it.
How do you see the e-universe transportation showroom itself being a pioneer in sustainable transportation?
We're launching this in Shepherdsville, Kentucky, here in America, and but in order to reach the rest of the population, of course, we're going to have to launch more of these locations. And it's as I said before, along with educating, you think about a company like Tesla. You don't see very many advertisements about Tesla. Yeah. Yet they're the leader in EV vehicles. And as you can see, we're starting to see advertisements from other car manufacturers. So there's going to be a rat race among manufacturers to get their message out to the public. Yeah. And we feel like this is going to be a much more efficient, much more cost-effective way to get their message out as opposed to traditional forms of advertising. So I really think this is a really innovative, Anthony has come up with a very innovative way to market these products and get everyone comfortable with the idea of EV products.
The idea of a showroom is a great one because people can come and see for themselves, and once they've sort of seen the car and got a feel for it or whatever vehicle it is, they'll perhaps be convinced.
Absolutely. And, along with these facilities, there's going to be charging stations. Yeah. And more people. I'm starting to see more and more people drive EV products. And people go on road trips and they'll be able to stop at our facility and charge up. And while they're charging up, they'll be able to become more educated. They can tour our facility at no charge and become even more educated on the products. So we just see a transitioning happening across America and even eventually across the world. And that's kind of where we have our sights. This is a vision.
Well, are there any plans that you have to expand the showroom and just anything for the future, really?
Well, that's a good one. You want to take that one, Nate?
Yes, I'll take that. Our initial goal is to have our first one in Shepherdsville, Kentucky. We would consider that like the middle part of America, and from there go on to locations. My initial plan is to have like 5 of these, each of them in the corners of the country. Let's say, for instance, maybe Washington, maybe one in California, one in Florida, and maybe one up in upstate New York, up in that area. And then that would be like 5 of them. I think that would cover the whole country and allow people from all over the country to see what's available out there, because I'm sure people are not aware of everything that's there. I would. And I created this to encompass everything. And in my research has shown that there's a myriad of products that I just wasn't aware of that are electric now.
And go along with what Anthony just...
So that's where we're at.
And to go along with what Anthony just said, we're starting in the Midwest and Middle America, but eventually we want to expand out to where the populations are larger. You think about the state of California. That's probably the state that has the large population. So we definitely would like to put a showroom in that area. As he mentioned, upstate New York, we have a large population there on the East Coast. Down in the southern states, there's a large population there. And then even, right next door to us, I'm in Indianapolis, Indiana. Kentucky's directly below our state, but right next door to me is Chicago, Illinois, which is, one of the largest cities in the country. There's a huge population there. So I think when we launch these facilities in these specific locations, that will go a long ways in educating the public from a vast, and it'll get the word out faster.
Well, where are we able to go to help you get the word out and find out more information?
It's www.e-universe.ts.com. I hope I have that right.
Yeah, excellent. Well, many thanks to you both for talking to us today. It's been great having you here.
The pleasure was ours.
Well, thank you for having us.